Actually,
Oh, I
Welcome to the
forgot
Smart
to
Houses
try and add a
podcast, baby.
soundboard.
no
I got
soundboard.
this. Do you hear that? Is that
I
just
don't know,
for
but
me?
it's not. It's just for you, Pop. That's not a good hook.
We talk about entrepreneurship, self-development, challenging norms. There's a chance I'm on a lag. I'm in South Dakota, Pop. I'm getting close.
No,
Getting closer to you.
that's good. You know why? You got to have a little Parkinson's law. I'm going to move into your apartment, and then you don't want that. You really don't want that because that's going to get messy, and then you got to deal with that. So
Yeah,
you're on a tear. What do they
For
call
the
that?
listeners.
Yeah, keep
Oh,
talking.
the lag. For the listeners, we're doing a Yankee swap on our apartments this summer. I have this really fancy studio in the newest building in Chicago, and Dylan has a really shitty apartment somewhere else. And but his has a door in one bedroom, and me and my girlfriend don't want the studio because we're sick of each other. We love each other, but we need a door. We need a door in a bedroom. So Yankee
I'm
swap.
stoked,
We'll see how that
dude.
goes.
I couldn't get into that building, so luckily
Right. The
Belky
reason
just came in.
the
and
reason I
approved.
got into that building is it's actually mostly because of Athena, because like she had some W-2 employment that could get her accepted in Hello Landing. They took my income and hers, and yeah, you're welcome.
That's sick. I'm glad she doesn't like doors because now I got the place I actually wanted. So we'll hopefully get you in there. I know. What do they
You
call
wanna hear
that when
something
you
grim?
race across the country? All right. Let's talk about that.
The bomb something bomb. It's like bomb the U.S. You drive from New York to L.A.
That's what I've been trying to figure out the name for it too. I'm like, what do you call it when you bomb it across?
Hold on, I'll find
Someone
it.
did it in
Richard
COVID and they
Rawlings.
ripped it. I think it was like
Right.
26 hours or something.
U.S. bomb.
Where's our young Jamie?
Huge shout out to the guys. Just another tip, dude. What is it called? Hey, talk.
Hey.
Tell a joke, Pop. Tell a joke, please, for the love of God, or tell people what we're going to talk about.
Fuck, dude. Do I go to my classic? Fuck, I don't even remember it. It's the octopus tentacles thing, but I don't remember it. Hey, oh god, we
Cannonball
lost
Run.
everybody already.
Cannonball Run. No, we're back.
Cannonball Run.
We're
dude.
back.
I
You wanna
also
hear
thought
something
bomb.
grim?
That's yeah. Tell me.
Driving around South Dakota, on the side of the road, anywhere you see these signs, and they say "think!" exclamation, and then on the back of the sign it says "Why die?" question mark, and then on the think side there's an X and it says X marks the spot. Somebody died here, and it's all about like being a better driver. So the South Dakota highways are just plagued with these like X marks the spot, somebody died here, car accident things. That's going to be a fun clip because I just stumbled right through it.
Not a chance anyone's time cutting that. I just couldn't figure out why they had something on the front and the back of the sign because I pictured people driving by and then looking to see what's on the back of it and then crashing and they had to put up another billboard.
Exactly. I almost crashed reading it today.
That'd be so funny. I guess it's your dark sense of humor, but like the sign self-perpetuates.
You want another one, Pop?
All right. Hey, you got nuggets today. I like nuggets. 10-piece.
10-piece nuggets, dude. What are we talking about? Oh, we're going to break down Risk for people. They should stick around for that. It's going to be fun.
Oh, I forgot about that. I didn't read that again, but yeah, we'll talk about that too. I got something else.
Let me hit you with a nugget to keep the people around. What was it though, dude? What was it? Wait, I know what it was. Hey, YouTube's a search engine. YouTube
nice,
is
dude.
a search engine.
You get a
Who
couple
would've thought?
thousand views and you realize it's the second biggest search engine.
Well, yeah, so here's what happened is I made a vlog about the Palmer Lucky Jason Calacanis fight at the All In Summit, and I ran it by Jason and Nick Calacanis, like, yo, is this cool? By the way, when is the Palmer Lucky thing coming out? I'll drop this after. I don't want to overstep. There were a couple things I said in it that weren't true. I think I said smearing or slander, and I removed those per Jason's request, but then he was like, the rest is fine. But I released it, and I was like, well, let me be smart about this. Let me get a kind of crazy thumbnail, of Jason looking freaked out and there's like a mob around. Let me make the title, fight at All In Summit. And then, hey, like, I should probably put some tags, right? Like, if people are going to be searching All In Summit, maybe I'll have some tags. Turns out that video got like 1,000 views in one day because everyone's trying to search this talk and it's not out yet. And I'm like, oh, YouTube's a search engine if you play like current events and stuff. So that was cool.
Dude, that's too
I've done
smart.
that once before. It's too smart.
We're trying to
It's
do
too
it the
smart.
hard way. What would it look like if we were hard and miserable? That's our motto. Inside jokes that no one will get because we never even talked about that on the podcast.
Hard and miserable. Do
that's the way we run our
obscure
business.
vlogs with not clickbait viral potential and just do that for 2 years. Hard and miserable.
Everyone's like,
But what's funny is
why does this have 1,000 subscribers after 2 years? Hard and
what's
miserable.
funny is that's actually the easy fun way is you just
Right.
don't think about it too much and put them out. But
Right,
yeah, it is
right,
hard and
right.
miserable.
There's the one approach where it's like, that's a lot of time and these are really high quality. That has to be the hard way. But to us, that's the easy way. Granted, the results, it's the dirt way. But hey, that's just how we do it over here at Smart Nonsense and Henry Belcaster Vlogs. I also don't like how there's no like nice name for Henry Belcaster Vlogs. Your vlogs. That's
Dude.
all we really got. Belcasters. How about Belcasters? Let's call them that. Was I going to talk about something? Yeah,
Something.
No, I don't really care about tags.
Until
Hey, we can talk
yeah.
about risk after, I
Yeah.
guess. Because I went down
What
a
you
rabbit
got?
hole late last night, and I sent you a bunch of texts for the first time in a while. When you get like 50 to 100 texts from me, usually an interesting night, I usually have some sort of idea. I don't know. Yesterday, talk about like roller coasters of a day. This is one of those like, most people we just gloss over and then tell like the what happened after the fact of like, oh, this was a difficult time. Yesterday, we had kind of a panic attack because in our heads, I think we thought that time cutting, so as in like taking a full episode of this podcast, like take this podcast, the first 5 minutes were shit, but there's like some good segment that comes at minute 20, say. So we go to minute 20, we cut that and we want to make it punchy. So you like, you just find the story and tell it really well in 30 to 60 seconds. That's in my head, like our number one business value add. Like we are Clipped. We do clips. But then we spent like the last 3 weeks trying to do a clip boot camp with like, no, here comes the people. I'm going to do the
no, Pop. Shoo 'em.
We had like seven to 10 editors that don't have clients or are newer, and we're like trying to teach them how to do clips. Turns out no one can consistently do good clips, like good time cuts. Just tell a good story. Part of the problem,
Because, yeah. What
Do you
were
wanna
we
get
and
into
what were
this
they
study?
hired for? Oh, that's kind of interesting.
Okay,
There he goes.
yes, dude. My tea. I think it's been really sapping my tea because I just like I really got to get up energy to tell a story, and then I get all
Oh,
sad.
Pop. Hey, come on. Can people in the comments
Hey,
like
help
cheer
out.
Pop
Help
on?
me out.
Be like, hey,
No,
Pop.
dude.
It's
Don't
okay.
try and
Life
get
is worth
engagement to
living.
boost the algorithm.
Life is
No,
worth
dude.
living. No, here's
Don't
what happened.
engage.
Here's what happened. Dylan's like, we want to be the viral clip company. Turns out, we've been building this thing for a year and a half, and it's 50 people. We're all animators. We're like an animation studio, and that's fine. It is what it is. But now it's like we're at this crossroads. Like, what direction do we go in? Do we
Well, it's
contain
super
the
ironic to
animation?
me too.
Yeah.
We can't do animation at all. Like I've never really understood how After Effects works. I tried it once and gave up after like 20 minutes. So I'm like, I don't get After Effects, and that's part of the problem because we just assume people could get Premiere and like storytelling. Like, oh, that's
Right.
average. Everyone gets that because we got 10 out of 10 empathy. But then they're like, no, two completely different skill sets. And we finally realized that this week.
We've known this for a while. I think it came to a head this week. And that's kind of the danger of like, we got so much promotion and distribution early on in Smart Nonsense Media's life that was like the product market fit thing. We couldn't keep up with the demand. So we just kept stacking in how we were hiring and who we were hiring for. And
Well,
now we have like this visionary crossroad, and that's what we're trying to figure out.
hey, this wasn't what the podcast is supposed to be about, but hey, this is business stuff.
You started it.
It was like there was so much. Okay, because we had my first million, which was relatively big. Like one of our first clips hit like 250,000 on Twitter, which is massive viral for Twitter that doesn't normally do videos. So that gets a lot of views, and that kind of like buys us a month. And then in that month, we also get all-in exposure. So now all-in sees all this stuff, and we do all-in stuff. And then Naval, and then who knows, Hassan, and Ali. And it's like all these people just keep promoting us, but they don't go long enough in the cycle to like month 2 or 3 when their fans are like, all right, I'm kind of sick of the heavy animation. And then all their clips stop getting viewed. So we just like, oh, this new person bought, but then this person churns before them, and then it churns before them. And so we just got caught in this like weird trap of only hiring animators because that's what people want, but then it never worked. And now we have like 60 people that only really know animation. So
it just works for a different
panic
thing.
attack. I know, but it's a thing that we're like, this isn't the product I had envisioned or that I want to use. Because now I'm like, oh, smart nonsense. I'm just going to go and time cut my own clips and then send it to an animator. But I'm like, do I need an animator? I don't think I do. But now I'm like trying to sunk cost, be like, okay, we have all animators. Let me figure out how we can make clips like no one else and that are still like amateur pro. I don't know. It's just like, I hate being sunk costed, but we kind of like built this company around something. But then it also works, but it works with clients that aren't animating. Like, or do like super minimal animation.
Well, that's
because otherwise it doesn't look
we
natural
changed
and native on TikTok.
Yeah, that's because we changed direction. So like half our clients are doing kind of animated explainer stuff, half are doing what you think is the future. These like clips they're just not animated. They're really good stories. They're cut for time.
I'm just like the only people getting results are the people that aren't doing heavily animated stuff, and I'm like, that's what we should do.
They're
and
playing
then, like,
different games.
Once you get results, maybe you can animate, but it just, I don't know. So I've been in this like mental dick fuck of a space, and then yesterday I'm like, okay, we tried to do this boot camp. Boot camp didn't work. We have 10 people. We're like, okay, I just need to like decompress, think about everything, kind of what the company looks like, considering it's totally different than what I imagined a few days before. Hey,
what'd you have?
do you want to talk about something more exciting? God, we didn't even shoot yesterday. Normally we shoot every day, but I'm like, I can't. I didn't want to talk to anyone yesterday. It was.
What's this one?
It was dark.
What's this one thing you heard last night? Some pod.
Hey, all right, get me all excited again. Okay, so.
Well, this is important for founders because I told you this yesterday. I'm like, I guess just in terms of
God, I'm getting hot.
Building momentum, you have to be able to dissociate. Like, I think as a founder, as an executive, you have to be able to dissociate hard, challenging, bad things like inside the company with what we need to get done every day. And I was telling you, like, nothing happening right now changes the podcast. There's just other things we need to figure out. But anyway,
no, but the podcast is like, it depends on your mental state. So if you're like in the back of your head, like 60 people depend on you and you don't believe in what they're doing.
Yes.
It's like,
But I'm saying, like, with the momentum, no matter my mental state, I will record a pod every day. I will record a vlog every day if it has to get done. And I could turn it on. I don't know how I learned that.
Yeah.
But I think a good
it's just
executive
hard to like go on stage mode.
That's true.
Because this is I'm never like this in person. I'm very rarely like this. I guess sometimes with you, probably more than anyone else in IEs.
Oh, don't start the giggly
normally
goose,
I'm just
Pop.
a fucking... No, dude.
The giggly goose, Pop.
No, I'm trying to... Because I think this is more important than talking about a little fucking robots.
No, you might jump out the window.
Yeah, I don't know.
Because we're talking about this offline. Look at you. In the comments, just say, look at him. He's so sad.
See, I also don't like that this is a performance. Like, for the comments. I don't like that.
Well,
I don't
then
know.
you got to turn him off again. Oh, he's not going to make content anymore.
No, I don't know, dude. No, I'm trying to think like put things in context, like what's more important, talking about like the dark moments of starting a startup, or talking about like this exciting startup idea. And it's like jumping on a soapbox and be like, here's a cool startup that isn't our startup. And it's like,
Well, the reason I
so I didn't really think
wouldn't,
about how this is valuable because I didn't want to talk about it.
but you see, the reason
Yes,
I
it
wouldn't
is.
dig into the dark moments is because there were things we were figuring out yesterday evening and this morning that are much brighter. So I'm like, well, if you go down the dark moment rabbit hole, it makes doing those things that much harder. Because you'll just spiral again.
I kind of didn't listen to half of what you said, and I heard some of the words, but no, I don't know. It's a really weird feeling because I think in the back of my head, I've felt like this for the last 5 months or so, ever since we made the switch, and then I don't know. It's weird. It's really weird to build something you don't believe in or don't see a vision for. That's what I'm struggling with. It's like if I'm going to dedicate a large part of my life to this, should be something I care about.
But then you will.
Like sometimes I'll see the value.
Oh, I want to be the wait but why for podcasts. And the only place I can do that is at Clipt Animation.
I guess, but I said that because they can't time cut. So I'm like, all right, I guess I'll be this. I don't know.
And then you love
it's
Vox.
kind of like a good thing. It's a constraint in a sense. But I'm like, I keep messaging you. I'm like, hey, like, there's kind of two extremes of where we tried to go. Like we had this problem in December. I'm like, all right, one radicalization, which we tried to do, was become a marketplace. Like totally detach ourselves and we'll just like link people up. Here's your editor. You guys just rip. If something happens, that's fine. We're just like Fiverr. That's basically what we tried to become, just like a better version of that. I didn't like that because now we have like literally over 60 people kind of in. I don't like being responsible for a lot of people. I realized it's just like it's some guilt in the back of the head, or it's just like weird. And then the other extreme, which I think about more, is like if it's just like the tightest core, like Netflix sort of model. We read this a while back where it's like you want talent density because that's super motivating. Say you're on the dream team back in was that like 1990 with the Olympics, NBA. It's just like the best people in the world, super motivating because you're seeing like all stars. They're teaching you things, you're teaching them things. Just awesome environment. Like we could do that with like 6 of the top editors out of the 60 and be more profitable than we are now. Like, so with a different business model.
Again, that's just one extreme. Like how many people is Netflix? It's not 6 people.
I know, but it's just like, then you read a rework and rework's like, hey, we realized we want to not have over 50 people. So we designed the company to not have over 50 people. Just like, we never go above that. It's like, oh, that's interesting. It's just a different approach. Like I don't know. It's also hard to say, but in the early days when it was like 6 people, 6 to 10 people, I forgot, like once it got out of whatever the pretty square is, like there was a certain point when we just felt like different orders of magnitude difference in people in the company. And I was just like, oh, I don't like this. This is too big. And then it kept getting big. And then I'd get like little panic attacks before every Zoom call with like 40 people on it. And then I'm like, okay, I can't do this anymore. Now Henry does it. It's like,
well, you never wanted to start an agency. You were like, let me hang out with my one singular client and one editor, create a lifestyle thing, and just hang.
Now we also have, so I was thinking about this before too, where we go to Sax's party and one of the people there, super successful guy, I won't give away more details because that might make it obvious kind of who he could be, but basically successful guy, he's having some like dating issues and he's like, oh, Instagram, if I go viral, sort of being an influencer there, then I can find my wife, because that's what he's trying to do. I'm like, yo, dude, sure, but you're also probably going to get gold diggers from that. Like, you don't really, that's sure. It's like a lot of people will see you, and it's kind of like in his mind, the best dating app. But I'm like, it's just filtering for the wrong people. And then you see, like, I think the problem isn't like the amount of women in your life. It's like, how many of them actually want to date you? He's like, oh yeah, that, like the conversion is what he said. But I'm like, basically, he's not good at flirting, so they don't want to actually like see him as someone they date or marry. So I'm like, okay, that's what needs to be worked on, not like making you have a cool Instagram with crazy vlogs and photos. That's not the solution. It can be cool, and sure, if you want to do that on the side, but that's not like the best way to get that goal. So now we're like, okay, we're some of the I'm detouring into like where fucking brain's gone, but we're like me with dating background, Henry with like vlogs and just having a creative company. We're like some of the only people in the world that could probably help this person. So now we're like, okay, do we want to help this person? Because I don't know if they wouldn't be our friends in real life because they're also double our age, but they have a really interesting life, and we always look up to them and people like them, and they're literally like at the top. So it's like, I don't know what I want to do with that situation either, and it's like a lot of
and mine
head spinning around.
My point of view on that is like, we're young, we're connected to these ridiculous people. We should be running as hard as we can to stay close to him, if that's the goal.
Right, but if that means he's like, yo, I'm going to Nice in a month, can you come with me and we shoot some vlogs and go out at night together? Would you do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I guess it would depend how frequent. Probably, though. Hey, you give me a free ticket to somewhere?
Well, then,
you're a client, I'm in. Nice?
Yeah, maybe. It's one of those, like, Derek Sivers, okay, that's one of the things, too. He wrote this book, Anything You Want, where he created this company, CD Baby, and basically, anytime you were an artist back in the day, if you weren't signed with a record company, it was really hard to put your music out. So it was like, oh, if you're an independent artist, you can just list your music here and we'll like send out CDs or whatever it was. And super simple pricing. He basically created the company he wanted. And he's like, that's the beauty of being a business owner. You can create whatever company you want. And so he did it, but then it kind of grew out of control. It got to like 70 plus people, kind of like close to where we're at. And he realized it's just not the company he wanted it to be. All he wanted to do was like code and build cool things. And that was bringing the company down. So he basically just turned into a hermit and removed himself from the company. He got severed, we call it, but basically, what do you call that on a pirate ship? You get what you need.
He gave everyone control, and then they created some profit sharing that excluded him. He just got weaseled out.
Right.
But in terms of your anything you want, it's like we got to a place where this thing exists, whatever it is, wherever we're going. You get paid to hang out and shoot podcasts and do that really well.
In theory, but it's one of those like also net lost money this year, probably compared to at least other things. It's just like I don't know. It's weird. But the reason why I brought him up originally is because he has like this hell yes or no mindset. And he's like, early on in your career, just say yes to everything. But then at a certain point, you have to turn that from hell yes to no. If it's not hell yes, I want to do this, then just say no. And we're at this kind of like crossroads of we don't really need to say yes to this, but it also opens up a lot of opportunities. I don't know. It's just
there's a lot of upside there.
It's a lot of confusion about what to do.
Is that where we end?
Yeah, maybe I'll talk about the thing I wanted to talk about tomorrow. I don't know. I'm trying to. Well, the good thing for me is like, it's never. I don't know. It never lasts. Like, well, it's kind of been a persistent. Like every 2 months, we have like this existential crisis. That's really like, what are we doing? What's the purpose of all of this? Belk, you're not having this as much from your perspective.
I never
Partially.
have.
No, I think you're lying. We did that 2 months ago. It was like, what should we be doing?
Because we couldn't make payday in like March. That was a big one.
Yeah, that was March.
Yeah, but and then the way I see it is, it's kind of like, are you going to be the day trader that focuses on the ups and downs of every day, or are you going to look at the 1 year timeline, 5 year timeline, and see that everything is up and to the right? And I'm like, we always come out of these kind of crises with either more clarity, or we double revenue, or I don't know. I'm just like, it's one of those, like, this too shall pass, and we will come out of this with more clarity.
The reason
or
why
a better
I don't
offering.
believe that is because we keep coming back to it. It's like we had this sort of gut feeling in January, like animation has kind of got us in this sand trap of people see our animated videos, want animated videos. Now we have to hire more animators. Now we have 60 animators. And then we have this, like, what's the purpose of animation? Because it doesn't work for what every client ever wants. They just want to get seen. Like the client that's literally recommending people almost every week, he's just getting the best results without hardly any editing. It's literally just like subtitles and videos with like some basic B-roll that I could do. So it's just, I don't know. Yeah, I've been struggling to believe in it and haven't found.
I think too, when you get, so you may struggle to believe in it, and then when you get a signal that somebody else doesn't believe in it, like either this guy referring people for kind of a different product, or Sachs being like, why would you be a marketplace? You should be more hands-on. Then you dig further into that disbelief. When I'm like, look around, look at the team, look at what we've built and what they've done. You can't throw that all out with the bathwater, because there's a lot of value there.
You say there's a lot of value, but I'm like, if we just had video editors, I think it'd be a lot more, like, we've succeeded in spite of that.
Which we might.
I don't think it's because of that necessarily. I don't know.
Not necessarily,
I don't know.
but yeah.
Hey, this is the in-between podcast. Yesterday I couldn't shoot. Today I can almost shoot. Tomorrow maybe I'll shoot something. Actually tomorrow. Yeah, probably tomorrow.
Hey, I'm coming back tomorrow. Well, so for the context, Pop and I are on our Think About through the weekend. So I guess this is just a portion of the Think About.
Yeah, literally we just told everyone we're overwhelmed, so just take like 5 days off. Because, I don't know, a week ago we're like, this isn't it. No one gets, like, only this one person in our company gets clips. Everyone else doesn't get them. But then we realized that one person doesn't necessarily get clips. So we're like, oh, no one understands them. So then it just got existential. I'm like, oh, what the fuck? No. A lot of confusion. Nothing tangible. Basically, the nice thing is I know like we'll figure it out, because we always kind of figure it out. But I just don't like it because it reminds me very much of like a bad relationship where you have certain fundamental disagreements that keep bubbling up every month, 2 months. It's like, if you don't resolve that fundamental disagreement, which is like, I don't agree with the product we're building, it's just going to keep repeating over and over.
Yeah. You're Yeah, we got to figure it out. Your opinion of that product changes day to day, week to week. Last night, you're like, I fucking love Vox stuff. Let's do that for Smart Nonsense. We can do that.
Yeah.
We're the only place that can do that affordably, quickly.
Yeah,
So
probably.
there's just like larger, I don't know, larger vision stuff we got to figure out.
Huh.
You believe in something. We believe in something.
Hey, maybe we'll just wait to shoot in person on Monday.
Oh, I got a lot of driving to do tomorrow. 8 hours to get to you. I'm gonna drive tomorrow. I'm gonna have a think about. I think founders out there need to know that. Here's the thing, Pop. I think if we didn't love creating content, if we didn't love media, if we didn't love the team, the things like this, these really hard days and weeks, you would just quit. And it's like,
No,
we found, yeah.
I don't know.
I was just gonna say,
Joe,
like,
Mike, you can just run this, and I'll go do my own thing.
Well, I do,
but I wouldn't do that because then I wouldn't get to hang out with you. So it's more so
right.
I do it. Like, I'm not even in Slack anymore, really. I just show up to the pod, and then I'm confused why the business doesn't do well. And I'm like, oh, that's why.
The business
it does well, but it
really
doesn't do well.
The business does that's the, like, yeah, I don't know. There are things about the business that could be a lot better, but the business does really well. I was also thinking, Sean in the My First Million podcast was talking about his sister's business that's got like some crazy conversion rate of 20%. So she has people coming in the funnel at the top, and then she's converting 20% to paying customers. And apparently like 1 to 3% is really good. And I'm like, I don't know what ours is, but it's probably high as fuck. Anyone that comes in the funnel. So that's when I was like, well, something's working. It could just be better.
No, I think we know when it's working and it's not working. Like, the only one I definitively say it's working for right now is cartoon avatars. Like,
but our clients
that's kind
are
of the thing with product
games.
market fit is you just know. It's like, oh, people can't stop recommending you. We're not there.
Yes, potentially.
No, I know for a fact we're not there. Because we're forcing it.
We also have clients playing different games. So the startup creating explainer videos for their products, they're winning.
Well, they're not winning if they're not recommending people to us. If something's so dope, you're going to tell all your friends about it.
Yeah.
That's my problem is when we try and take this hands-off approach, it doesn't work as well. It's kind of like what we talked about with Qualtrics before. We're giving everyone, right now we're just SurveyMonkey, giving everyone surveys from like, hey, you guys use it to the best of your ability. And our survey is just an awesome editor. But a lot of people either aren't going to use the product unless they're forced to, and so they won't get results, or they don't know how to use it right. It's like, oh, if you're Qualtrics or if you're Clipt, you get clips. You understand virality, or at least you're like so immersed in that ecosystem that you could build an insane product for 10 grand a month and just have one editor on it, one producer, net like $7,000. So it's just the most profitable thing. Just rip that. And that's what I think.
I think that's the direction we're going in. Is institute.
I don't think it's just more of an uphill battle than I thought to get there. It's like
to get where?
Well, it's like, who's going to time cut every single video? Because like, if you're going to do clips, and that's the only way you can really get results reliably, you need someone time cutting. So it's like either a producer Are we going to have in-house producers
Yeah, I
that
don't
are
know.
watching every single video?
Or it's just a different thing. Like the way I keep telling you is like Clipt is an execution engine. If you've got an idea, you come to Clipt, it gets done. If it's video. And I'm like, we spent a year building Clipt animation. Kind of by accident, but we did. And they can handle any animation product, any After Effects project in the world. So now it's like, okay, we don't have the Clips
hate
engine.
that general, like, I hate not specializing too.
Right.
Just like so counter to everything that I heard and want to do. It's like, hey,
Right.
you guys want product videos? Sure, you can do that. And now you have to somehow know how to give creative direction to an animator.
Yep. Well, folks, hey, I haven't seen you in like 15 minutes, Pop. Sad.
Yeah, I just still recording video at high quality. Henry's internet is weak. Don't worry.
Oh, it says your internet's weak. Hey, let's wrap it up. These are the dark days. What'd you say last night?
It's not that dark because things are ripping. It's just like, it's just a bummer. It's like, well, it's one of those like, oh, you got to rethink everything sort of days. I'm like, because now, okay, I guess why do I feel this way? One, because it's like, I don't know, they're like 35, 40 people right now with clients. So they're ripping. I don't like, sure, they're not getting the results I know they could be getting if it was a different product, but whatever, like it's good enough. Now there's also like 7 to 10 people that aren't working with clients and are kind of like working on this podcast, and we try to teach them things, but then it turns out that's just not going to work. So now I got to rethink what we're going to do. And it's like 7 people in the next couple of days are going to be like, all right, what do we work on now? It's like,
Right.
I don't know. I don't really necessarily believe in what we're doing there, but maybe I do, maybe I don't, but it's just going to be a different product. Do I want to build that product? I don't know. So that's the overwhelm.
Subscribe to find out. Does Dylan want to build that product or not?
And whatever the fuck it is. All right. Gardaloo.
Think about. All right, Gardaloo.